Infinite Warfare, am I right?
Call of Duty launch sales are down by almost 50% compared to last year. According to ChartTrack UK, Infinite Warfare is just not selling as well as Black Ops 3 did this time last year. The disappointing figures come despite a huge marketing push from the game's publisher Activision and the inclusion of Modern Warfare Remastered as an exclusive extra in some versions of the game. Activision even warned investors last week that it expected Infinite Warfare to sell less because Infinite Warfare is a new sub-brand, as it calls it, whereas Black Ops is a established sub-franchise.
And that is a mighty fine excuse if you ask us. Why not try the fact that this is the 12th annual Call of Duty installment in the last 12 years? And there's you thinking that Call of Duty Modern Warfare was the first of the annual installments. You fools. What that means is that since 2005, which was CoD 2, there's been a new CoD every single year.
Me.
So it's not hard to see, from my point of view, why the enthusiasm is down out for this series.
Then there's the point that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has the second most disliked YouTube video of all time, with 3.3 million dislikes, just behind Baby by Justin Bieber.
How's that song go?
Baby, baby, oh. People just didn't like the look or the direction of the game. There's also the small matter of Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2, EA's two multiplayer shooter offerings this year, which arrived in the 2 weeks before CoD. Now, arriving in a crowded release window has never really been a problem for Call of Duty in the past, but the fact that EA shooters are being so well received and the fact that they arrive in the 2 weeks exactly before CoD comes out could be enough to put a dent in their sales.
And here's the rub, it's not just the sales figures that should be worrying Activision, it's the fact that absolutely nobody's playing it. The player count on PC has been absolutely terrible. According to GitHype.com, which tracks player numbers on PC games, at its peak, Call of Duty reached just over 15,000 concurrent players, bringing it to an all-time high of 27th on Steam, and that's just 3 days after release.
Now, to put that into perspective for you, Mafia 3 had a peak player base of 47,000 on its opening weekend, ranking it at 7th on Steam. Christ, Euro Truck Simulator 2 is even more popular than Infinite Warfare on Steam right now.
Sorry.
GitHype also reports the player base is down 76% on Steam compared to last year's Black Ops 3, which had a peak of 63,000 on its launch weekend.
But even Black Ops 3 has failed to retain its player base on the PC since last year, with only 14% of players still playing the game. Just goes to show that multiplayer online has got a shelf life for these games now, with CoD churning out every single year. It's like, what's the point? There could be a reason behind Infinite Warfare's abysmal sales performance on the PC. The PC community was split in two for some reason. Those who bought the game on Windows 10 Store were unable to play with those who bought the game on Steam. I mean, what the
It's madness, isn't it? It's absolute madness.
Microsoft is even refunding the players who bought it on their Windows 10 store because nobody's online, nobody's playing it.
But ignoring all that for a second, is Infinite Warfare actually a bad game? Well, reviews for the game haven't been terrible, but they haven't been glowing either. It currently has a Metacritic rating of 80 on the PS4, for example, and sites like Eurogamer said the game just fails to innovate enough to be a memorable experience. IGN even said 2/3 of the campaign are actually just boring, while the multiplayer is still fairly strong, if familiar.
User reviews are of course a different story. The game currently has a mixed rating on Steam and scores ranging between 2.4 to 3.3 across all its platforms on Metacritic. There have been rumblings in the community as well about the presence of supply drop loot boxes and the way they work in-game. Each supply drop could contain exclusive weapons with slightly higher stats than other weapons in the game. You can either save up to earn keys in game and get those loot drops for free, or you can simply spend real world cash to buy them outright, creating a pay to win dynamic. Since when has Call of Duty has just buying in-game stuff? Isn't that ridiculous?
Absolute bollocks. So it seems there's loads for Activision to be worried about based on all this, but what's the solution? Does it just take it all on the chin, come back with yet another Call of Duty next year and just risk a further slide in popularity? Or does it take a break from the series for a little while, because that's the call Ubisoft made with its big annual franchise Assassin's Creed after it saw a steady slide in popularity and, let's be frank, quality in the games. Whether or not it makes financial sense to Activision to skip a year is actually an important question.
Yes, Call of Duty games make a ton of money regardless of relative performance. The series is without question the biggest entertainment franchise of all time, but the games cost a ton of money to make as well, between the massive amounts of marketing, big budget presentation and action, high production values and hiring stars like Kevin Spacey, Conor McGregor, Jon Snow. These games just aren't cheap to make. And is it really a smart business decision to flog the biggest gaming franchise of all time to death with these ever increasingly unpopular gaming releases year on year out, flooding the market with near future FPS games?
Do you remember what you did to Guitar Hero?
Chill, dude.
Having said all this, there's still one very important fact. COD is huge. It's still the second biggest launch of the year, comfortably shifting Battlefield 1 from the top of the charts. Yes, it may not be breaking sales records anymore, but it's still making a crap ton of money.
Long term though, it's not looking quite so healthy. Something desperately needs to happen to the franchise. They can't just keep going further and further into the future. Let's look at Modern Warfare, for example. That reinvigorated the series. They need something on that scale to inject some excitement into the Call of Duty name again.
Either that or give us a year off, for f***'s sake. Thanks for watching Pretty Good Gaming, guys. Check out the latest Pretty Good Saturday show for all the big news headlines from last week, including Valve's ban on bullshots, and remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you around.